To work without fatigue is a universal desire of mankind. Some people can work hard with little fatigue, others tire easily. In the absence of any other cause, it is often assumed that persons who have abundant energy must have been born strong, and that those who suffer from fatigue must have been born weak. There is some truth in this theory, that our normal energy level is the result of hereditary or congenital causes that have trailed us since birth. But when we begin to understand the total being that is man, we realize that he is no simple physical organism. Within him are many powers whose potential he employs in greater or lesser degree in accommodating himself to the conditions of this world. Their potential is vastly greater than the average person thinks. Man learns to work with whatever energy is at his command, usually without understanding whence it comes. He only knows that when he becomes fatigued, he wants to rest or to have something to eat or drink, because these measures give him some relief. It is generally true that a tired person feels better after eating or resting, but as the body grows older, a time comes when no amount of food or rest restores strength. Clearly, something happens to the body that causes the material sources of life to fail us. Hence, we should analyze and understand the physiology of the body and from what sources it derives energy and strength. The most commonly thought of source of bodily energy is food, which consists of solids and liquids. When they are taken into the stomach, the bodily machine breaks them down into simpler chemical substances and finally into energy. Solids can be converted into liquids, liquids into gas, and gas into energy. Therefore, all food, whether solid or liquid, is essentially energy. Fatigue means that too much bodily energy has been spent. It must be restored, and nourishing food is one source of energy replacement. God created in nature an abundant variety of edible vegetables, fruits, grains, and other foods, everything necessary for man. Man cannot bring forth even a gram of wheat, much less a new plant or fruit. Only God can do this. He has to originate the species first. Man can only modify what already exists, as Luther Burbank did. God also gave man water in the mountain spring and milk to nourish him in the cow and in the human mother. From the moment of birth, man instinctively seeks these natural sources of sustenance. The impulse of hunger stirs the impulse to eat. Had God not given us the hunger impulse, we would not eat at all. Man unwisely perverts his natural hunger and sense of taste through misuse. The theory that hunger is the result of the habit of eating is true, at least of the greedy person. Greed is a mental hunger. If one lives naturally, he has no desire to eat more than a normal diet, and his taste preferences are also normal. The abnormal appetite created by greed kills untold numbers of men and women. We see all kinds of eccentricities in man whenever he becomes a criminal against his own welfare through misuse of the senses. When man forgets the purpose of an action and clings rather to the action by which the end is to be accomplished, he makes a grave mistake. Hunger and taste were given to man to help him select the proper quantity and right type of food to sustain his body in a healthful way. But wrong habits of living and eating have distorted this natural dietary instinct, creating preferences that are not always best for him. Something that tastes good and fills the stomach doesn't necessarily satisfy bodily needs. Since food is an important carrier of energy into the body, it is best to ensure a good supply of energy through proper eating. In a boiled dinner, most of the vitamins have been destroyed. You will tire easily on such a diet. Fresh, raw food is better because the vitamins are still present. Many vitamins are destroyed by the heat of the cooking and canning process. Hence, a diet in which such foods predominate is not sufficiently nourishing to fill the needs of the body. The stomach and digestive tract distill the chemicals from our food and distribute them to the proper types of cells throughout the system. The body is composed of various chemical elements, and you should see that your diet replenishes these elements every day. A good diet should contribute as many of the necessary elements as possible at every meal. Eat sufficient protein, many vitamins and minerals, some fats and oils, and some natural carbohydrates, but few refined starches and sugars. Meat protein is not the only vital source of energy. Some of the mineral salts that are found in fresh, uncooked vegetables and fruits are important sources also. A large serving of steak will give plenty of energy, it is true, but a preponderance of meat in the diet, if continued for a long period of time, ceases to give strength. Overmuch heavy protein results in protein poisoning, a cause of fatigue and also disease. Too much protein is just as harmful as too little. If you want to be rid of fatigue, then one remedy is to eat properly. Remember that meat may give strength temporarily, but it loads the body with poisons. By eating more raw foods, you will have less cause for fatigue and therefore an abundance of energy. Whenever the body feels tired, drink a glass of pineapple or orange juice. It will give you much energy. Whole fruits and vegetables are even more nutritious than their juices, but most people won't take the time to consume them this way. An excellent energy provider is orange juice with finely ground almonds mixed in. Nuts are more readily assimilated in combination with orange juice. Remember, it is important to drink an abundance of liquids. When good water is unavailable, fresh fruit juices, coconut water, and watermelon provide an excellent supplement and partial substitute. In the future, more and more people will drink fruit and vegetable juices to their benefit. Do not forget to include some butter and milk in your diet. Milk should be taken separately from meals, best not to drink it with other food. Milk has helpful laxative properties, but its mucus-aggravating tendency is not good for those who have sinus trouble. Orange juice also can be an irritant for those who have sinus problems or frequent colds. In some cases, too much orange juice may even cause colds. Many persons afflicted with these troubles have found great improvement by omitting regular intake of orange juice from their diet. Although lemon has excellent disinfecting qualities, it similarly aggravates sinus irritation. There is nothing more satisfying than bread made from freshly ground whole wheat. Although persons with a tendency toward phlegm should generally avoid starches, whole wheat bread may be taken if thoroughly toasted. Constipation is another cause of fatigue, which is related to the accumulation of poisons in the body as well as to the energy from food. If you are constipated, use some kind of laxative, preferably a natural one. If you keep your body free from poisons, you will not be fatigued. It is the poisons in the body that make you feel tired. Any kind of drug also will fatigue you, just as the narcotic opium saps the work initiative of its addicts. They don't want to do anything but sleep and dream. A most important way to eliminate fatigue is to conserve the sex vitality. The single person should be fully self-controlled, and married couples should be moderate in their sexual relations. Tremendous vitality, both physical and mental, is lost through promiscuity or overindulgence. Exercise removes fatigue. Exercise daily. Lack of exercise causes fatigue. Regular exercise removes fatigue. When you exercise, you expend some energy, but you get back much more if you don't overdo it. Proper exercise vitalizes the body. Over-exercise and violent exercise cause fatigue. The body should be charged with only as much energy as it can stand. For example, 2,000 volts of energy sent through an ordinary electric bulb will burn it out, but will not harm a bulb made to stand that much current. Similarly, the body absorbs a beneficial amount of energy from proper exercise. But overexercise causes fatigue because it creates toxins faster than they can be handled by the system. After 40, you should be careful not to undertake any form of exercise for which your system has not been kept properly conditioned. Walking is good, and swimming is excellent, but strenuous exercise should be avoided. It will only cause greater fatigue because it overstrains the capacity of the body to handle the sudden expenditure of energy. By gradually strengthening your body, you can enjoy strenuous exercise, but a person of lifelong sedentary habits should not try to be an acrobat at 60. He will burn out his system. Sufficient sleep helps to give energy. I think 6 or 7 hours of sleep is enough. After that, you don't actually sleep, you drug the body. It loses energy instead of accumulating it. Sleep 10 hours and you will feel depleted of energy. You won't want to work the rest of the day. You will just drag yourself around. Fatigue can also be removed by oxygenation. When you are tired, instead of heading for the kitchen for a snack, go out in the fresh air for 10 to 15 minutes and exhale and inhale deeply, off and on, several times. Don't breathe hurriedly or with force, but in a relaxed way, very slowly and deeply. After this time spent in the fresh air, your fatigue will be gone. If you were to fast a whole day and every hour get out in the fresh air for about 5 minutes and do some deep breathing during that time, exhaling poisons and inhaling oxygen, you would not miss food at all. Because of habit, it may seem in the beginning difficult to feel satisfied without food, but after you get used to it, you will find that you have received from the oxygen all the energy you need. Lahiri Mahasaya and other great masters knew how to operate the law that renders food totally unnecessary in sustaining the body. But he used to say that eating serves a good purpose, for God has created food in abundance and variety, and hunger is part of the plan that keeps the cosmic show going. Avoid wasting energy. Energy is continually wasted in useless activities, unrestrained emotions, and improper living habits. When you are at peace, you use little energy, but when you are angry or hateful or otherwise emotional, you use a great deal of energy. Proper care is necessary in operating a delicate machine. The same consideration ought to apply in using the body machine. When you work, you employ your muscles, nervous system, mind, thoughts, feelings, and spiritual perceptions. Currents of energy are required in all these areas in any kind of work. When you are running, you are using about 4 or 5 horsepower of energy. If by removal of gravity you no longer felt the weight of your body, you would use very little energy in running. The greater the body weight, the greater the energy required to move it. The battery of an electric wheelchair will move the weight of the chair and its occupant about 15 miles before its energy is exhausted. Did you ever stop to think that your body battery is wheeling this physical vehicle around all the time? Its energy powers not only the muscular motion of the limbs, but all other actions as well. When you are talking, for example, you are using thought force as well as muscular force, and thought requires energy. Without it, you cannot think or transmit thoughts into speech. When you are thinking deeply, you burn up a tremendous amount of energy, exhausting the brain's reserves. Let us suppose you have 60 thoughts per minute. In a month, allowing 18 hours of wakefulness daily, you would have had nearly 2 million thoughts. In a lifetime of 60 years, you would have produced more than 1 billion thoughts. After that many thoughts, most people would be dead. The brain's stored energy from food and cosmic sources would have been used up. When we ponder how much energy current we are using all the time, the wonder is how we live as long as we do. Nevertheless, by adequate replacement of expended energy, we can live longer and more efficiently. There are 2 sources from which man draws energy for his body, from food, which includes oxygen, and from the medulla, or mouth of God. The energy thus imbibed is distributed to the body cells. Any excess goes to the brain to be stored there for use as needed. Food is only a secondary source of energy supply. The greatest flow of energy into the body comes from the intelligent cosmic energy that is all around the body and omnipresent in the universe. It is drawn into the brain storehouse through the medulla. This intelligent cosmic energy, or vibration, is the basic substance of all matter. Scientific experiments conducted by Dr. Kreil have shown that the brains of dead calves continue to emanate considerable current. In death, the cosmic energy loses only the physiological channel of the nervous system. The secret of vitality. It takes hours for the body to convert food into energy, but anything that stimulates your will generates energy instantly. Will draws vitality from the electroprotonic center of the bodily cells and from the reservoir of the brain, where energy that has already been distilled from food is stored. Will also draws new energy from the cosmic source into your system through the medulla. The secret of vitality, therefore, is to conserve the energy you have and to bring new energy into the body by willpower. How? First, you must act willingly. If a thing is worth doing, it is worth doing willingly. When you work willingly, you have more energy because you not only draw upon the reserves in the brain, but also attract a greater flow of cosmic energy into the body through the medulla. A woman preparing an elaborate dinner for her beloved is happy and filled with vitality, but if compelled to cook when she doesn't want to, she feels tired from the start. Remember, will brings energy. The system of energization exercises that Self-Realization Fellowship Yoga-Satsanga Society teaches is based on the principle of using will to draw energy from the cosmic source and to distribute that energy by will to the trillions of cells in the body. We draw most of the current for our actions from the physical supply of the body battery, energy distilled from food, oxygen, and sunshine. We don't draw enough energy from the invisible cosmic source through the conscious use of will. Will and energy go hand in hand. There is a difference between consciously applied will and imagination. Imagination is a conception of something that one desires to manifest. By imagining day and night that you are feeling more vitality, you will gain some strength because imagination requires at least a small degree of will. By contrast, when one wills vitality, the energy is actually there at once. Suppose you are angered and strike at someone violently. The will, stimulated by emotion, draws energy for that action, but immediately afterwards, the energy is cut off and your vitality is depleted. But if in a positive way, you continuously will energy into your body and apply the principle of the self-realization energization exercises, conscious life force control, you can draw, by the use of willpower, unlimited energy from the cosmic source. Since the body is simply a cluster of cells, if it lacks energy and you thus energize the whole body with will, those cells are recharged instantly and continuously. Will is the switch that lets more energy into the body from the divine source. Will is thus a potent factor in maintaining youth and vigor. If you convince yourself you are old, the will becomes paralyzed and you do become old. Never say you are tired. It paralyzes the will. Say, my body needs rest. The body must not be allowed to dictate its limitations to your soul. The soul must rule the body because the soul is neither caused by nor dependent on the body. In the soul's will lies all power. God willed, and there was light. The cosmic creative energy that condensed into the heavens, into our bodies, and all other forms. Will is light, for light was the first manifestation of God's will, and he saw that this light, or electrical energy, was a satisfactory unit out of which life forms could be created. The scientist ponders whether matter is light or whether light is matter. Light came first and constitutes the essential structure of matter. Therefore, we must realize that energy and will go together. It is a very simple formula. We have been so conditioned to the idea that energy comes only from material sources that we fail to believe in and draw upon the cosmic source, which responds instantly to will. If you learn the self-realization method by which you use your will to draw energy directly from the boundless cosmic source, you will not suffer from fatigue anymore. Those who know me know that I take only 2 or 3 hours sleep at night, and even if I don't sleep at all, I don't miss it. I can remain awake for days without fatigue. While I was writing Whispers from Eternity, I once went without sleep for 5 consecutive nights, and my body felt no weariness at all. You must awaken your will. As you begin to draw energy from the infinite, you will require less food as well as less sleep. You will begin to rise completely above the need for material methods of sustenance. You need not be limited by material laws. The magic method of working without fatigue lies in the use of your willpower. When you can draw energy from the cosmic source, you can eat breakfast or go without, and it won't make any difference. You won't feel any lack. You will be above that consciousness. Love is one of the greatest stimulants to the will. Whatever I do with the greatest love that I have in me. Try this, and you will see that you do not become fatigued at all. Love is one of the greatest stimulants to the will. Under the influence of love, the will can do almost anything. You can demonstrate this in your life if you depend more on willpower. Your body will not need 8 hours of rest. You will find that 6 hours of sleep will be plenty, along with 1 balanced meal a day, and perhaps fruit juice now and then. You will remain always well. Through God's grace, I feel the same, and I think I look almost the same, as I have throughout these 19 years that I have been in this country. I obey nature's laws insofar as I can. I am not unswervingly orthodox or fanatic in anything, but I do believe strongly in willpower. I have proven it works. When I am with people, I am with them wholly, with the greatest joy, and when I am alone with that joy. When I work with the greatest will and happiness. No matter what your task, do it joyously and willingly. If you don't, you only devitalize yourself. And remember to be always sincere. Through sincerity, you can work more harmoniously with others. Develop sincerity along with willpower. Do some creative work every day. Writing is good for developing creative ability and willpower. I have never cared to do merely mechanical work. I am always seeking to accomplish something new. Being creative is more difficult, of course, than following a mechanical existence. But when your will battles with new ideas, it gains more strength. When it becomes stronger still, so that it can work changes not only in your body, but in the universe, your will has become divine will. That power of divine will is what Jesus referred to when he said, "If ye have faith, and doubt not, ye shall not only do this which is done to the fig tree, but also if ye shall say unto this mountain, Be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, it shall be done." Why not? The Lord is whirling untold tons of universes through space by his will, divine will. Don't look on yourself as a weak mortal. Incredible amounts of energy are hidden in your brain, enough in a gram of flesh to run the city of Chicago for 2 days. And you say you are tired? A revolving wheel generates electrical current. When your willpower revolves around an idea, it too creates a current of energy that can be directed to heal, materialize objects in front of you, or make any other kind of change in the atomic structure of the universe. When your will becomes strong, united with divine will, you can indeed, as Jesus said, lift mountains and cast them into the depths of the sea. Our will is part of the divine will, and when we develop the will that is within us, we can create universes, and we can demonstrate that there is no death, no decay, but that all matter is eternal energy. Then there can be no fatigue. The purpose of life is to find God. Under no circumstances allow yourself to become buried in the debris of mortal habits and limitations and all the other humiliating experiences of delusion. Use your determination to wrench your will free and attain mastery over your body and the universe. In the development of your will lies the ability to discover the hidden image of God within you.